So, REPO. This game is very funny. I'll admit, when a new Lethal Company type game came out, I was hesitant to pick it up. I had post-traumatic schlock disorder from games like Content Warning, Murky Divers, and Sketchy Contract. Those games were never really able to get me invested, mostly due to their lack of replayability and humor. Finally though, we got a good one, REPO. REPO is a game developed by Swedish company Semiwork Studios. Like a majority of Lethal Company clones, you have a very simple task. Get in, grab shit, get out. Once you get back to your ship/car/van/fucking submarine, you can buy upgrades from a shop. But ooh, monsters will spawn during your time inside the facility/castle/mansion/empty Unity project, and that's basically the premise. So what makes REPO different, and in my opinion, better than all these other games? Let's find out. The most unique part about this game is its physics system. Instead of simply holding items like in Lethal Company, you have a motherfucking 0-point energy field manipulator. You drag items through the air by using your mouse combined with your scroll wheel to bring them closer or push them farther away. Using this physics system, you can throw, swing, and slam objects. There's only one problem. They break. Hitting any valuables against surfaces will cause them to either lose value or break apart entirely. You do not want this to happen. If you cause the valuables on any given floor to lose too much value, you won't have enough money to fill your extraction points, which have a minimum limit for the amount of value they need to be completed. This creates a fun and intelligent dilemma, where you have to balance your own personal safety and the safety of your items, forcing you to make smart choices to avoid failing each floor by failing to account for the safety of either. Another thing this game gets absolutely right is the item variety. A lot of the items are simple as expected. You have your fragile items, your sturdy items, your small items, your medium items, and your large items. But you also have your more unique items, like the music box, which forces you to spin in a circle while holding it, or the hourglass, which slows you down and makes your voice sound funny while you're holding it. But these are more just gimmicks. You also have items like the flamethrower, which allows you to turn your humble moving cart into a middle finger to the Geneva Conventions. Or the barrel, which might do something when you hit it 3 times. Or a sword. Or a chainsaw! And so far, I've only been talking about the items you can find lying around the floors. You've also got an entire shop filled with unique items. You have standard upgrades, which allow you to increase stats like strength, health, stamina, and sprint speed. Then you have your quirky drones, which you can attach to items, players, or monsters. Drones can be very helpful, like using them to recharge your equipment, making enemies light, giving yourself anti-gravity properties, or even making objects impossible to break. Oh, and you can also buy guns. But what exactly would you need guns for? Well, REPO has a surprisingly diverse cast of monsters for a game that just came out, with a total of 19 unique enemies compared to Lethal Company's 21 after over a year of updates. Now, having a bunch of monsters doesn't immediately mean that the game's enemies are good, so let's take a look at some of them to see if they really set a standard. To start off with what I believe to be an amazingly designed enemy, we have the Clown. He is a silly little guy who walks on his legs and shoots a fucking laser beam. This laser beam works in a quirky way, where it will adjust to the height of your head and then shoot horizontally about 180 degrees. It's actually 90, but I just lied in the script. Meaning that you can bait the beam to fire high and then duck low. After he shoots the beam, he will then run up to you and try to bap you with a slightly predictable kick. This alone makes the enemy fun and engaging, but nothing exists in a vacuum. If there are larger items around, the laser beam can destroy them, meaning that you want to deal with this creature far away from any objects that it can potentially harm or break. And when combined with other enemies, the Clown essentially becomes a test of your spatial awareness, making sure that you bait out shots or hide behind cover when it's going to laser, which is indicated clearly with a recognizable sound effect. Another one of my favorite monsters is the Shadow Child, who really brings an element of horror to the game. They're a tall, lanky figure who sort of Yeah, that. Staring at them too long will cause them to activate their noodle powers and throw you. These monsters are a test of your ability to navigate without direct sight. Memorizing map layouts as you walk around is important, so that if you find yourself face to face with one, you can maneuver around them. This is, once again, especially important in situations where you have to deal with 2 or more enemies at the same time, and can create some truly stressful scenarios. While I really like these 2 monsters in particular, we do have to address the problematic ones. And what better example of a problematic enemy than old Bo Wasserman, aka the Huntsman. On paper, I love most things about the Huntsman. He's a blind enemy that reacts to noises, including player movement and proximity chat, and will shoot at anything that makes a sound. He even has a funny mechanic where he'll always trip and fall downstairs, causing him to collapse and stun himself. So the main problem with him is that, well, he doesn't make any noise, meaning that you can just walk into a room and get immediately killed without having any time to react to his presence. This can be especially harsh on newer players who can find him on floor 1 and get absolutely bodied without much they can do to counter him. And as a side note, he also just shoots at you when enemies are making noise, which is very stupid. How does he know I'm here? I'd love to go over a lot more of the enemies, but this is a review and not an enemy overview. What I will say is that if hiding was your only option to avoid death from these monsters, things would be a lot worse off. Luckily, there's just one last thing we have to talk about. About a decade ago, my father took me on a fishing trip. He managed to catch a fish. We quickly realized we had nowhere to store the fish though. So without any other option, he grabbed the fish by the tail and repeatedly banged its head against a trash can. At the time, I thought he was just solving our issue of not having a cooler on us. But much later in life, I realized he was actually preparing me for REPO combat. That's right, your main method of dealing damage will literally be swinging enemies into the floor. But before you can throw them around, you have to stun them first. This can generally be done by swinging objects around them, whether they be store items like the pan or valuables on the ground. There's also special ways of stunning enemies, like putting a duck into a cauldron or toilet, and as previously mentioned, having the huntsman fall down a set of stairs. The best way I can describe this combat system is manual-like. It's far less intuitive than combat systems like Lethal Company's Shovel, but it allows for more freedom of expression and a much higher skill ceiling. The game gives new players time to acclimate to the system by allowing them a lot of leniency in the earlier stages to simply hide, and slowly forcing them to engage in encounters as they climb higher. Similarly to Rain World and Getting Over It, the feeling of mastering a counterintuitive system is something that nothing else can compare to, and it gives the game much more shelf life. You go from cowering in fear of most enemies, to being brave enough to take a risk and slay them. My only gripe with the scaling of this game's challenge is that, at the moment, obtaining excessive strength upgrades can render every monster completely worthless as you're able to stun them all by simply grabbing them. Luckily, this is being addressed by the devs, who I'm sure are stressed as they try to capitalize on their newfound popularity. So I think with a fine bit of tuning, this system's combat will reach peak levels of both fun and nuance. And that's basically all. This game is the first one I've made a true review on, so I'm not sure how exactly I'm supposed to rank it. So instead of giving it a number or a percent, I think I'll just say, give this game a good play. It's well worth the price, and it only gets better with friends. In terms of whether or not it's better or worse than Lethal Company, you know, I don't know. I sort of like the atmosphere of Lethal Company more, but I feel like REPO could evolve to have much more technical play in it, which could keep me for longer. Guess we'll see. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave you guys with the only thing I left out of the video.
Feeling laborious? Of course I'm in subservience. Gotta court the money, he's funny, how courteous. And my only gripe is the fact that I'm alive. This matter of a body dish, shoddy but glorious. Strawberry in the factory or the academy. Doesn't matter where I am as long as it can shine. He can blind me, grind me, snatch me, scratch me, but he'll slow me down from making that money. Give me the money, show me the glow. Give me the payment, bring me the gold. Give me the money, show me the glow. Give me the payment, still not sold. Give me the money, show me the glow. Give me the payment, I owe a toll. Give me the money, show me the glow. Bring me that gold. Like heavy metal, but But well, I'm made of metal. Wasn't accidental that he only craved capital. I'm driven by a face and he drives me in a race car. Civilization's dead, so at least it ain't taxable. I'm here by myself, or so I thought at least. Couple dumb babies and a few free beasts. You think I'm trapped in here with you little freaks? No, you're all trapped in here with me. Give me the money, show me the glow. Give me the payment, bring me